Good morning, first grade writers. Happy Wednesday. Um, Welcome back to Writers Workshop, and we are going to just continue on today. We have one more strategy that we are going to learn about that we've noticed that series authors do in their series books, and we are going to learn that last strategy today. And then after today, we're going to move on. Okay. So, the last strategy that I want to talk to you guys about is that when a series author introduces new characters into their books, they give lots of details, right? So, in the Poppleton books, we know that Poppleton's going to be in every book because he's the main character. But in the books, when he meets new characters, the author gives lots of details. Same as in Pete the Cat, right? In all of our different Pete the Cat books, whenever we meet a new character, we get lots of details. So I found some examples today from the Henry and Mudge books. And I know that in my class, we read Henry and Mudge a lot. And I'm sure you did in class 101 and 103 as well. Okay, so let's take a look at what Cynthia Ryland, that's the author of Henry and Mudge, did in one of the Henry and Mudge books where they take in a stray cat. Okay, so let's look at some of the examples. Let's look at some of these pages. Okay, there we go. So the first page here is where she's telling us about when they found the cat. And it says, Henry's father opened the door. Sitting on the steps was the shabbiest cat Henry had ever seen. It might be a stray, Henry said, petting it. It has to be, said Henry's father. This is the shabbiest cat I've ever seen. He carried the cat into the house while Henry and Mudge followed behind. Mudge's tail was wagging. Okay, so guys, so far, Cynthia Ryland has told us that this cat is very shabby. Does anybody know what the word shabby means? That's a fancy word. Shabby means dirty. His fur looks probably knotted, and I see that in the picture, right? Dirty, not brushed, not clean, not taken care of, right? And she says this over and over and over again. It was the shabbiest cat Henry had ever seen. This is the shabbiest cat I have ever seen, said his father, right? So they're telling us that it's a stray, right? And that we know that it's a stray cat because it doesn't look like it's been taken care of. Let's go on to the next two pages and see what else we learn about the cat. This cat looks like mashed prunes, said Henry, but it's nice. Nice for a disaster, said Henry's father. The three of them watched as the cat drank 3 bowls of milk in a row. Wow. If I stop and think about that, that tells me that this cat must have been very hungry. 3 bowls of milk in a row. I think that we're right in thinking, just like Henry and Mudge and Henry's father, that this cat's probably a stray, right? If it doesn't have a home, then there's no one feeding it. Can it stay? Henry asked. Only until we find a home for it, said his father. He looked hard at the cat. Do you think it knows that it's shabby? Henry's father asked. We're going to stop there. Okay, so do you see that when this cat showed up in this story, Cynthia Ryland didn't just say, there was a cat at the door. She didn't just say, they opened the door and there was a cat. The end. Right? That's boring. That doesn't make the story exciting. She's giving us lots of details about this new character, this cat in the story. And by the Henry and his father having this conversation and Mudge, and they're bringing it in the house, we're learning that it must have been a stray. It was not well taken care of. It's dirty. They said it looked like mashed prunes. His fur is all in knots. He was super, super hungry. He had 3 bowls of milk. And if you look at the pictures, he looks really super cuddly. He's cuddling with Henry. He's playing with Mudge. Mudge is licking him. We've learned so many things. We've gotten so many details about this cat just in the first 2 pages where it was introduced. Okay, so I think that's something that we can do as series authors in our books, right? So I am going to go back and remind you guys that in the last session, we started talking about my new book about Junior and his mean Aunt Minnie coming, right? So we had already worked on these 2 pages. And these 2 pages, we were using other strategies that we learned from other series authors, right? Like this first page here, I was showing in pictures. I was putting details in my pictures and showing the characters' emotions, right? And then on this page here, I was using patterns. No running, no screaming, no ball in the house, no bouncing, no pizza, right? We can use all of these strategies all together in the same stories. It's so cool. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to add another page to this story and give lots more details about Aunt Minnie. Okay, we already know that she's mean and that she says no a lot. Okay, I'm going to give some more details about her in my next page. All right, let's read it together. Here it is. Later that day, Aunt Minnie arrived. She was wearing a dress with a rainbow on it and a hat with a flower on it. She carried 2 suitcases. That meant she was staying a long time. Wow, guys. I didn't just say, later that day, Aunt Minnie came. The end. That's boring. We need to add more details. We need to tell more, right? So on my first 2 pages, I had already started giving some details about Aunt Minnie. And then today I made it, when she arrived, I told what she was wearing on her dress, what she was wearing on her head, that she brought suitcases with her, and that those suitcases meant that she was going to be staying a long, long time. Okay? So now I'm going to go off and I'm going to work on the next page of my story while you go and start working on your stories. And in one of your stories that you already started, or if you want to just start a new one today, you can always do that. I want you to introduce a new character, not your main character, not the character that you've been writing about in every book. You're going to introduce a new character and give lots of details. I can't wait to meet all of these new characters and see what you come up with today. Good luck, boys and girls.